Hi everyone and welcome to Groomapedia. I'm your host Margaret Pagic from Botany Bay Imports. This is a podcast for anyone interested in animal grooming. In these podcasts we will interview groomers worldwide. Let's get started and happy listening. Today we have Vanessa Parsons joining us. For those that don't know Vanessa, let's find out a bit about Vanessa. Hi Nessie, how are you?
Hey Margie, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
That's good. I'm excited about today.
That's great. Well, let's kick off, I reckon.
All right, let's do this.
So I was just wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit about yourself. So who are you?
Okay, my name is Vanessa Parsons. I'm born and bred on the Gold Coast. All of my family live here. I've got my sisters, my cousins, my aunties, you name it. Everybody's here, nieces, nephews. I live in Currumbin Valley. I run my home salon from there as well. And I share my home with my hubby of nearly 25 years. That's our anniversary coming up, which is exciting. And my beautiful daughter, Holly, and my miniature horse, Daisy, and my miniature schnauzers, and my farm cat, Gingy. And I've been grooming over 30 years on the Gold Coast.
Oh, great. Long time for such a young person.
Oh, you're so kind. Lucky this is done by telephone and not video.
So, Ness, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Okay, so I have a bit of a long list.
That's okay.
So Dad was a truck driver.
Yeah.
Dad was a truckie, so when I was young I wanted to be a truck driver. I loved horses, so I always wanted to have like a big property and breed quarter horses and have cattle and all that sort of stuff. I loved Siberian Huskies and really wanted a Siberian Husky as my first dog, but Mum and Dad thought a beagle was a much better option, but anyway, that's another story. I wanted to be a checkout chick. I wanted to be a race car driver. I wanted to be a vet. And I wanted to be a jockey, which, due to genetics, unfortunately, my height and in particular my width is against me. But yeah, pretty... I wanted to do lots and lots of different stuff as a kid, but I've achieved, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the stuff above, so yeah.
That's great.
And of course, I love dogs, but dog grooming probably wasn't on my list of to-dos when I was a kid.
Yeah. I find that a lot of people are sort of coming back with that sort of feedback as well.
Yeah, it was, I don't even think there was dog grooming salons when I was a kid, so I don't think it was something, that was even in the scope of doing.
Yeah, you'd probably see one every, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? So Ness, what made you start your business?
So it really started back in primary school, like the whole grooming scenario. A friend of mine was working at a local grooming salon after school, and I used to go up and see her after school and meet up with her, and she used to stink because we used to use Nucidol back in the day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I just don't. That this whole grooming thing is really that awesome. But so my mate.
Can I just ask you something first?
Yeah.
Did you want to throw her in the hydro bath at any stage?
Well, there was no hydro bath back then.
Oh.
Yeah, well, not that I know.
Okay.
The bath was literally a bath.
Yep.
Set up, which is actually really innovative, but I don't think that the old hydro baths were even around back then.
Okay.
Not that I'm that old, but
No, you're not, because I'm not much.
Oh,
I'm around your age gap.
Sorry.
So I'm around your age gap, so you're not that old.
Yeah, thanks, Margie. We are spring chicken. I'm rolling with that anyway. So my mate, she ended up moving from the Gold Coast, and the job was actually offered to me. So I was only 13 at the time, and the thought of earning like $2 an hour and getting to play with dogs, sounded pretty appealing. But I've got to say, it did only last a couple of months. There was like no air conditioning. It was just a fan, no ventilation.
Wow.
Just none of the awesome sort of gear we've got today. So anyway, I did quit, and I finished grade 10.
Yeah.
I was 15, and Mum and Dad loved travelling around Australia, so I was lucky enough that in grade 7 we went around Australia, and then grade 9 we went up to North Queensland, and I met this amazing friend of mine, Zoe, and her family run a cattle station in the Gulf of Carpentaria called Escott.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a caravan park as well. They had everything. It was just fantastic. And it was 1,000 square, it was either miles or kilometres, I can't remember now. And I loved it, absolutely loved this place. So I was given the opportunity to work on the cattle station when I finished school. So that was like in 89. I was 15 at the time. So, yeah, I went up there and worked for several months, and, we were riding horses, mustering, riding quads, we did rodeos.
Wow.
And my mate Zoe, she was a couple of years older than me, and she had her own pilot's licence and had her own, like, 6-seater Cessna plane. So we used to, like, go cruising, checking out the fence lines of the property. It was just unreal. It was the best life.
Yeah.
But wet season comes around, and Jillaroo work, or general work on a lot of the cattle stations shut down. So I came back to the Gold Coast to Mum and Dad's, and when I got home, Mum and Dad had bumped into the owner of that salon I'd worked at when I was 13,
Yeah.
and he was selling and offered it to Mum and Dad, to buy. So I was still pretty young, and Mum and Dad didn't want me to go back up north. So they offered, for me to pay it off over X amount of years. And my whole plan was, I'll just do that and pay them back, and then head straight back up to Jillaroo life within a couple of years. And so that was, back in 1990. And I was 16, and I just celebrated my 30th year of dog grooming. So, yes, my big Jillaroo plans didn't pan out. But that's really how I started into dog grooming. I know it's a long-winded story, but
that's a great story.
It wasn't my first choice. So
it's a great story. Just wondering, is Dean a cowboy? Anyway, let's move on to the next.
He did have a set of chaps that he would like to wear sometimes without jeans underneath. So yeah.
Okay, Ness. So I'll move on to the next question.
Oh, I love it.
How did you find networking with other groomers?
So networking, wow. I think networking's so important. When I first started, like back then there was no internet, no mobile phones. I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 dog groomers on the entire Gold Coast. Like now there's like literally hundreds. And I was pretty much self-taught. I think I had like one grooming book that was in black and white, and the drawings, I think my daughter could have drawn better pictures. There was, no Google.
Yeah.
There was really, nobody around to help. So I was winging it for a long time, and I really did feel quite isolated. But I did reach out to another salon that was about 10 k's away, struck up a really good friendship with a lovely lady called Judy, and she gave me lots of advice and help. And then I also reconnected with an old friend who I'd worked with in the salon when I was younger, Lisa Furlong, who you know, and Lisa's been around for a long time. And she mentioned to me about an association called PIJAC, which is now the Pet Industry Association. And she told me that, they run I don't think it was an expo. I can't even remember what it was back then, but they did have, once a year seminars. So I remember I gathered up the courage and the cash and I flew to Sydney, and I was by myself. I really didn't know anyone back then.
Yeah.
And wow, did my grooming world open up, and I was just like blown away by, all the different products you could buy, how much more there was to learn as well. And yeah, from then on, I didn't miss a seminar, always went to everything around Australia. And yeah, from networking, I've made lifelong friends, and to date, we're all still very much involved in each other's lives. And, we hang out and, bounce off each other, help each other. Because I think too, us dog groomers, we're cut from the same cloth as well. So
Yeah.
I love my groom friends. They're incredible people.
Yes, they are. A whole heap of different people around, and really.
Yeah, and we're all from different walks of life and different backgrounds, and we can all help each other, even if it's not dog grooming. There's so many groomers that have had past lives that they were, hairdressers, or they were IT,
teachers or
yeah.
lawyers. I heard someone was a lawyer as well.
Yeah. Well, I've heard of, solicitors,
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah.
I think, so many different walks of life. So definitely networking is, I think, one of the most important things in this industry.
And why hasn't any of you converted me into a groomer yet? Helen's actually tried.
Oh, Maggie, because you're too good at what you do. I want you to just keep doing what you're doing. You'd be too good. You'd beat us all.
Getting too old to become a groomer now.
No, you're not. You're never too old.
So Ness, what are some of your achievements?
Okay, some of my achievements. All right, I have a few I could probably talk about. I think on a personal level, due to not networking, the first half of my grooming career was really boring and stagnant, and then the second half has been crazy. But I've got to say, first and foremost, I am so very proud to be an ambassador for Oster and Sheer Magic, proudly sponsored by Botany Bay Imports, thanks to you.
You're welcome.
Margie, you, gosh, I remember when you asked me, I was like on cloud nine. So, I'm really proud of that achievement. And I actually was thinking, I don't even know how long I've been an ambassador for now.
It's been a while,
been a few years.
and I'm really grateful that you're a part of our team.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And
I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything that you do for us as well.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. But I've probably got a few I'll quickly talk about. I think if I go back quite a few years, becoming a certified master groomer with the very first lot of certifications in Australia when they were being tested. There was a group, I think, of 7 of us that were the first master groomers in Australia at the time. That was with IPG. Then went on to get my international certified master groomer with IPG and was like a certifier with them for a few years. I also was a grooming director for the pet industry, which at the time was incredible. I felt like I had so much to inject into the industry, but I had big shoes to fill because Jodie Ann Hassler and Helen Schmidt had been the directors prior, so that was a pretty big task. But I also represented Groom Team in 2014 and 15 alongside some of my dearest mates in the industry with Sharon Hall and Annette Whitelum, Mel Newman and Naomi. That was really, really amazing as well. I also was super proud to have been asked by Vivian Nash to join International Judges Association, which has given me the opportunity to move on to judging like nationally and internationally now, as I have retired from competing. when you're not making me compete, though.
Yes.
And I think too, achieving my Cert 4 and International Master Groomer, my second one with IGC. I was an assessor with IGC for Sharon Hall and Julie for quite a few years. And yeah, that was another one of my proud achievements, to be able to, help and pass on all the hard work that Deb Ryan had put in to other groomers. So yeah, I think I could go on, but off the top of my head, they're probably my good achievements.
You've achieved so much, Ness. Well done.
Oh, thanks, mate. I do appreciate it.
So, what was your first experience in a grooming ring?
Okay, so I was really lucky because I felt like I was surrounded by, a group of pioneering grooming women who were already competing and encouraging me to get in there. So I had like Deb Ryan, Shaz Hall, Tamara James, again Mel Newman and Annette Whitelam. They were already all competing and were like, come on, Ness, you got to get in there and give it a go. And I was absolutely terrified. And my very first comp was at Gold Coast, so it was a local one. And I competed in 2 classes. I did the gun dog and the terrier. And I remember waking up, God knows what time in the morning, and just thinking, what in the hell am I doing? This is crazy. Only crazy people do this. But I was really, really glad that I started, because I not only got a great critique, I had the best time, and I placed in both of the comps, which shocked me. And then I found like it just, I don't know, it built a lot of confidence as well. And then straight up from that, the girls were heading over to the USA a couple of months after and said, come on, come with us. So I did, and my very second competition was at Pasadena, where I met up again with the girls and also met with another good mate of mine, Tammy Colbert, and she sorted out a beautiful miniature schnauzer for me, and I placed second in the terrier class in the USA. And
wow.
Far out, we had the best time. Apart from us having a very good time at the comps, we had a very good time after the comps as well. So I'm really glad I ran towards my fears with that and not away, because the grooming comps honestly did change my life in lots of different ways.
Perfect. I remember at Master Groom getting up early and helping prepping a dog. Not that I prepped, I just stood there and built conversation with you girls.
Yeah, no, you were in there. I've got photos of you near the bar, Margie.
But I remember it's hard work. Like, you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start. Like, it's a long day.
It is hard work, and I think you tend to run on adrenaline a lot of the time, because you're not only up at when the crack of dawn, but you're also then if you do quite a few comps, you're standing literally
all day
for 10 hours, no break, and then you're back into it the very next morning.
And after a night of having fun, and so I know what you girls go through.
Yeah. Yeah, you've had a taste of how we roll, hey Margie?
That's right.
I love it.
So, which breed do you cover, Ness?
So, for competing, definitely miniature schnauzers. I really do love grooming them. But in the salon, I mainly just do the small fluffies these days. But I don't mind. I'll groom anything, but I do like my terriers. I like the Westies and Scotties and Lakeys, breeds like that. I just enjoy grooming those particular dogs. But yeah, for competing, definitely my mini schnauzers.
Perfect. So, what risks have you made as a groomer?
Risks. Okay. I don't think I've taken any major risks as such. Probably I guess the main risk I'd taken was when I was mobile. I'd been mobile for like 13 years, and I'd had enough. I was getting quite run down, and I was booked for 3 months in advance, and the traffic was getting busier on the Gold Coast. I was genuinely feeling like really overwhelmed. I look back now, and I think maybe I had a bit of burnout. So I either needed to have a change, or I had considered quitting grooming because I really didn't know what to do. So I didn't want to go back to like a salon and have the restrictions of business hours, and I didn't want to rent again. And I have got a really big shed on the property that we moved into when we built this place. So I thought I could turn this into a really neat salon and perhaps, do okay. The only concern is that, I live off the beaten track. I'm not that far. I'm 15 minutes from the beach, but I'm not near shops or anything like that. So I didn't know if it would work out okay, but I got council approval, and I thought, look, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So that was back in 2004, and I proved the critics wrong.
That's right.
And I'm still going strong. So I think that as a business owner was a risk to basically start again from scratch, nowhere near really, suburbia, and try and just start a business from home. But it worked. It really did work. I'm really happy, and I'm grateful that I ran the risk.
Yeah, I love the way that you get to work from the house to the shed, though.
Well, there's been different modes of transport over the years. I've had a golf buggy. I've ridden the horse occasionally. I tried to ride a skateboard once. That didn't work out so good. But yeah, definitely, the quad's the way to go. Sometimes traffic can be a bit rough from the house to the salon.
So Ness, what are some of your success stories?
Well, success stories. Gosh, okay. I've probably got a few. I think my main success story is that I'm still here, grooming and running my own business after 30 years. I think that would be my main success story. I never thought I'd be grooming this long, but in the comp world, I think I'm very proud of the successes I've had. I've done okay with. I've had 3 best in shows with a Poodle, Westie, and a mini Schnauzer, a couple runner-ups, and groups and placings, etc. I was the Royal Queensland champ twice, and recently came out of retirement just for you, Margie, to compete at Master Groom in the team event with my incredible Austrian Sheer Magic team members, with Helen Forrester, Monique Finch, and Tamara James. So we were super excited to win the Australian Team Championship, and still the reigning champs.
That's it.
And also, added another great groomer on our team with Joel Wakefield too. Yeah. But I guess too, I think that there was a comp, I don't know when it was, when I was going for the Sydney Royal champion, and I placed in the Terrier, or not placed, I got group in the Terrier and was in the finals for the Australian Royal Champ. But I went in the Poodle class, and I think there was like 10 groomers in the master class, and they were all awesome Poodle groomers, and I placed 3rd in that one, and that was massive for me. So I think perhaps like the big wins are really important, but sometimes it's the little wins that you really remember, because I just never thought I would crack the Poodle world ever. And to get 3rd was it was a pretty big deal. So sometimes the not so big ones are the success ones as well.
Yeah, great stories. Did you want to have a glass of water, Ness, while we're
Sure. Too bad we haven't got a glass of wine, Margie.
It's the wrong time of the day.
Oh, the pub's open somewhere in the world.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. So, who is your worldwide mentor?
I have a couple. So I think I have always been blessed and surrounded by amazing pioneering grooming women. Thank goodness in my grooming world. So I'm very grateful, to lots of people in that regards. But I think someone who helped me find like my lane in the grooming world and with terriers was my awesome friend Deb Ryan. She was always super patient with me and put up with all my phone calls and questions in regards to hand stripping. And she was an integral part of me finding my great love really for miniature schnauzers. So she put me in touch with a mate of hers, Tammy Colbert, and Tam also, of course, was a big part of my schnauzer world. She gave me lessons all the way from the USA and encouraged me. And if it wasn't for Tam, I wouldn't have come across Kathy Colby, who was beautiful enough to allow me one of her dogs, Thrill, to come from the States. So, yeah, I'm very grateful to all the girls involved with me finding, my love. And also Sharon Hall, I have to say a big shout out to Shaz. She has been a constant there in my life and helping me with grooming, and she's always there to answer, all my questions. Yeah. She's a wealth of knowledge, super humble person, and yeah, she's a good mate.
Yeah, Sharon's quite good. I don't know much of the others other than Facebook, but Sharon's a lovely person.
Yeah, Shaz is great. Shaz is very, very cool.
Yeah. So, have you got any tips for any beginner groomers who are starting out, Ness?
Yes, I do. I think so. What I would tell the younger version of myself is a few things, and that would be education is definitely the best investment you can do. Learn and study your breed standards. The ANKC breed standards are the Australian version. There's different versions throughout the world, so study those. I feel like they're the recipe for grooming, if that makes sense. They're the recipe book. That's how you get to understand why you're doing the trim on that particular dog. So because I was self-taught and I had no show background, I had seriously no clue what breed standards were. So I did, once I got onto them, I also bought a book by Harry Spira called Canine Terminology. That was a huge help. And yeah, learning the breed standards was, incredible. I would also probably say to make money, you have to spend money. So, don't be tight and make sure you attend your seminars that you can afford, buy your grooming books. Like I love Jodie Murphy's grooming books and Melissa Verplank's. DVDs, online videos, follow, groomers that you admire, and spend money, on good equipment as well. Don't, you can't go past your good scissors and reliable blades and clippers and things like that. And I think I would also tell the younger version of me, the very skinnier version, to make sure, look after your body. I really do wish I knew what I knew today. I would have worn better shoes. I would have looked after my back. I would have, shouted myself massages maybe. I would have rested more when I was tired, and I just would have not pushed myself and overbooked when I didn't need to. But I guess, and also too, I would say don't lose faith in yourself. Don't ever compare yourself to anyone else, because I feel like comparison is the killer of all joy. We're all unique and amazing, and the grooming world, can be anyone's oyster. You've got to stay humble, true to yourself, and fuel your passion and surround yourself with like-minded good people that share a common goal. I think even if they're not from the grooming industry, have people around you that uplift you and encourage you, because it can be tough if you're by yourself, or a lot of I know the mobile groomers that work by themselves. It's really hard. So hang in there and find your lane in the industry and your niche, and you'll be unstoppable, basically.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Ness. Have you got anything else that you'd like to say before we keep going?
Oh, I think I'll wind it up with saying, if anyone in the industry that's new and they might be struggling and you're not sure about learning or tuition or products, or I don't know, generally anyone that's having a bit of a struggle, more than welcome to contact me, and if I can point you in the right direction, I'll be there to help.
Perfect. Thank you, Ness.
No, you're welcome, Margie. Thank you for having me on.
And thank you for your time. I hope everyone enjoys listening to Vanessa Parsons, and thank you for the wonderful story.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed it, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it too.
Thanks, Ness.
Thanks, mate.
Bye.